Welcome to the Rob Liefeld Show featuring Robservations. I bring over 40 years experience in the world of comic books and entertainment. Across 5 decades, I offer insights and opinions on the business and the art of comic books and pop culture. If it's happening in games, in streaming, in movies, in comic books, we are covering it and discussing it right here. Boom, and welcome to another edition of the Rob Liefeld Show featuring Robservations. I'm Rob Liefeld. You already learned all you need to know from the intro before the show, and here we are. We're at the show. Let me tell you something. The intro tells you 1,000% what I am all about, and what I am all about is comic books and the comic book creators that made the comic books, whether it's superheroes, fantasy, horror. We've done dedicated episodes on ElfQuest. We've done dedicated episodes on Barbarians, Conan, King Cole, when that age just took comics by storm, topping the charts. We've done ElfQuest. We have entertained all the different genres, all the different styles, the different themes. Superheroes is predominant. That's where I live. That is my home. That's where I have made my bones. It's where my passion lives. This entire show is reflective of my passion. Thank you for joining me. Today, I am back. Back from New York Comic Con. What an exciting adventure I intend to tell you as much as I can recall. Give you some of the behind the scenes. It's so funny that some stuff that I didn't know was going to be shown online got out pretty quick, pretty early. Interactions with other people. I can take you further behind the scenes. Tell you some funny stories. Share with you all of the splendor, the wonder that was and is the New York Comic Con 2025. That is what we're going to be doing the next 2 episodes, taking you through. There is so much. There is Todd McFarlane, Jorge Jimenez, okay? There's Gary frickin' V. There's J. Scott Campbell, Robert Kirkman, Dennis Camp, okay? Met him for the first time. Fascinating. There's Kyle Higgins. Okay, there's Eric Stevenson, the publisher, owner of Image Comics. There's Brian K. Vaughn. It never stops. There's special appearances by Will Spertaccio, by freaking Jim Steranko. And that's just off the top of my head. It was just such a whirlwind show, even though my wife and I were there for 7 days. We were there for 7 full days. I am recording this shortly after arriving at LAX, taking the car home, and deciding I need to get together with you, share with you, get my producers, my sound guys, my production guys, Reed Mounts, make sure that each and every one of these episodes sounds as good as possible. And I'm just so thankful to him and grateful, and we're just excited to put this together. Mr. Dave Hong, did you guys know that he's been doing all of my thumbnails for the last 3 months? Yes, he has. Since June. Mr. Dave, longer. So 4 months. So it's a team effort. Everyone's collaborating. We are excited. Let's get right into it. We leave Monday bright and early for New York Comic Con. We're going to get there a little early. My wife and I like to get there a little early so we can settle in, enjoy the city before the craziness starts. For me, the craziness was carrying over because I owed a cover. Eric Stevenson had a great idea for us to do a secret variant on Youngblood, and I was able to get that all drawn up and printed out on the blue line so that I could go straight to inks in the nook of my window. I love the hotel that we've been staying at since 2015, 10 years. Is that 11? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Didn't be there. We weren't there 20, pandemic, 21, 22, 23. Oh, so 10 years. 10 years we've been there. I love to draw in the window nook. It's so fun with the cushions and the padding and looking out over the vast views of, on one hand, New York City, and the other, New York City and Central Park. Nothing makes me happier, as many of you know, for the last several, maybe a couple decades you've been following me. Nothing gives me more excitement than drawing in a new place, a fresh environment. Whether it's overseas or a different city here in the United States, New York City, big jolt. I knew that I would be able to get it done pretty quickly because I had done so much of the underdrawing very, very quickly, very tight. But I did owe a Youngblood cover upon arrival. Tuesday morning, popped up 6 a.m., sat in the nook. My wife, towards the, I think right, maybe middle beginning, she rolled some process video. We're going to be showing that with you. Joy loves to get the camera rolling. She's an excellent photographer, great videographer, always hooks me up, always does me just some of these the best videos. Let me tilt that that spinner at get 2 rows into the shot. Hey, was thrilled that all I had to do was just that one cover. The Sunday before we got there, I was penciling Youngblood pages for issue 4, getting those scanned, getting those sent. Finishing up the final inks on some pages for 3, getting them to my colorist, and making sure that we had packed everything that we needed to bring in regards to arriving at the show with all the books that people had ordered. We had pre-orders for Youngblood, New York Comic-Con special editions. We had VIP editions. So last Sunday was hectic, but we got out, we made it, landed, had a great time. You're on a different clock when you land in New York City from LA. So we're buzzing. We wandered through the city, had some great pizza, saw some great sights. Again, popped up Tuesday morning. By noon, I am done. I am scanning this thing. I am sending it to my colorist for him to ink. For him to color and get out, because Youngblood, as I am recording this episode, is going to press. All of this has been in service of approving files, getting final covers ready, doing this, what we call the secret variant, getting all this stuff ready because the book is going to press. Your retailer has been ordering this book, and as this episode is being listened to you, if you are listening to it on the morning of the drop, on the Monday morning, what will that be? I think that's Monday the 13th. Your retailer is locking in his final orders. I'm going to tell you this right now. To the retailers who order, who listen, and to the customers and the supporters who want to grab them, I am going to be blasting out support for this across all my mediums: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. I am going to be blasting Threads and sharing with as many people as possible, trying to drive as much interest and traffic. I do not want any copies gathering dust on your shelves, and I am ready to push as many copies as I possibly can. I wouldn't put it out there if I wasn't proud of it, if I didn't think it was a great opening chapter, if it wasn't a great new launching on point. And I believe in all of those things. I believe I have accomplished that goal, and I am excited to share it. So expect that excitement to track when you're doing your orders. Hey, if you want to be conservative, be conservative. I will make sure that you don't eat any copies, because I am very aware that you are committing your retail dollars to the comic book. So thank you for that. But that has been consuming the last several weeks. Anybody who does independent comics, anyone who is working outside the system, packaging, putting their own books together, they are doing a ton of work. It's a ton of additional labor. The design work, the approval of the lettering, the formatting of the pages. Then once that's done, in case you don't know, it's loaded up to the printer. Image has their own printer. They have their own approval process. Different people have different approval processes. I am going to single-handedly approve one by one, click, click, click. Not only every page, every interior, every inside front cover, inside back cover, all of the variant covers. That is on me. I am one of 4 of a committee of 4 approvals that goes out. Different people catch different things. We communicate it. We catch it so that when it gets into your hands, it's in as good a shape as possible. Here's the funny thing that we had to, and this is going to come back into view here in a couple minutes when I get to another part. This is the 1 in 500 foil. Okay, it's like this incredible cardstock matte foil. I love it. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. It could not have come out more like polished. Even the CGC people, I signed 500 copies of those for CGC Wednesday night in their CGC. Let's call it their den at Javits Center. We had to sign 500 of them to get them out. That's why they're printed. They're done. This is the issue. This is the comic. I'm sharing it with you right now. If you're on YouTube, I'm opening it up. You can see this is the official mass market Image Comics edition. It's got that page 1 right there is a different version. It's the same comic. It's just got different colors. We're coming at you. We're super excited. This book had to be ready, and a certain amount of them had to be ready to go in advance. I had to reapprove all of it because this was going to press to be signed for CDC to get the 1 in 500s, the 1 in 500s. If your store ordered 500, I was signing those copies at Javits Center Wednesday night before the show. CDC was going to approve them, get them slabbed and ready because they come with a CDC slab. It's all part of the process. But the other thing we had, and I'm probably jumping the gun here, but this was the secret. We call it the Lunar variant. Lunar hosted a retail meeting. I'm going to tell you about it in a little while with about 300 retailers in attendance. 300 retailers made the trek. They had meetings all day long. The people who stayed, I was so thrilled. If they were in attendance, they received this free. We gave it to them free. Youngblood. This cover is not available anywhere. You can't order it. It's not going to be on a line item on an order form. This was a gift. This is a gift. The Lunar variant that went to retailers. The retailers got free just if they attended. So, and this kind of gives a glimpse, as I told them, as to what's coming in Youngblood 100. Okay, it has a really nice cardstock cover, so it made it even nicer. Really nice cardstock. But again, these all had to be approved. This is the copy you're going to get. It's just got this special Lunar Comics edition, one per store. We gave them out. They didn't know they were coming. We are really trying to build the excitement to Youngblood. Me going to New York City was more of a marketing and promotional investment and effort for me than anything else. That's the entire reason I was going. So we have just anybody who runs who is behind getting their own comics together. All of these different aspects are factoring all the time. I woke up. Oh my gosh! I had a bunch of stuff I needed to approve. I don't want to hold up the shop. And so again, approvals, getting this stuff on press so that it can make it to you. November 5th is the date I believe that Youngblood lands. It's something I'm incredibly excited about. I'm going to be talking about it. Your retailer is likely locking in his orders or has already locked his orders in. I just want to thank right now Scotty Young, Mr. Scotty Young, super busy, took incredible time out of his schedule to give me a tremendous Youngblood cover. If you've seen it, it's fantastic. It's got the whole team. There's a little joke on there. Scotty absolutely crushed it. Scotty, you honor me. You are a great friend of the project, a great artistic ally. Thank you for saying yes and delivering above and beyond. Ryan Stegman, X-Men artist, Ryan Stegman, just delivered one of my favorite covers. It's got Chapel, it's got Shaft, it's got Badrock, square in the middle. He just came through on all fronts. It could not have been more exciting. I loved seeing it. I loved watching it come together. I inked it. I actually inked it. Ryan did the pencils. I provided the inks. I tried to be as faithful to Ryan's work as possible. And Ryan's cover is another one of my favorites, with Chapel, with Badrock, with Shaft, seeing Ryan's versions of those characters. He took time out of his very busy schedule. He's very much in demand. If he isn't Marvel's top artist right now in regards to who they put more burdens on, I honestly, I don't know who he is. If Ryan isn't the big dog carrying the load, I'm not sure who that is. He's got the super hot variant covers. He's got the key X-Men art. He's the guy that they put the load of carrying the new X-Men relaunch last year on. They've got to get as much out of him as possible. Because he is one of their few standard bearers currently at the company. That's just in all honesty, they are very fortunate that they have as much of a commitment with him. His cover's great. Thank you, Ryan Stegman, for coming through. That was so much fun. I love seeing it. I love approving it as it went to press. Ryan Otley, Mr. Invincible, Mr. Battle Beast, crushed it. His cover, Die Hard, smoking hot. Another one that I inked. And your amazing colors. Vaughn, he signs his covers Juan Mar. Okay, Juan Manuel Rodriguez, colored Ryan's, colored mine, colored Ryan Otley's. Just flying colors. Ryan Otley, thank you for the outstanding Die Hard Youngblood cover that you provided us. I could not be more thrilled. And the end result speaks for itself. It's fantastic. Eric Gist, you crushed it. That painting is beautiful. It's gorgeous. I hope you guys are able to get one of Eric's variants. I think it was a ratio variant. Kyle Nagu, another like Eric, super in demand, super hot on the variant cover market. He just did it, just the most amazing shot of Shaft and Vogue. Eric Stevenson called me at one point and said, Shaft is the most popular of all the characters in regards to the artists who are choosing which characters to depict on the Youngblood team-up variants. And it's great because, man, I think Kyle Nagu just draws one of the very best. One of the very best. I'm not done here. Daniel Warren Johnson came through Shaft, okay, amazing. I expect that to be one of the most sought after, one of the most popular covers. He is one of the most sought after and most popular names in the business. All of these guys are today's hottest, most in-demand artists. Mark Spears rounding it out. Ryan Otley, Ryan Stegman, Scotty Young, Kyle Nagu, Eric Gist, Mark Spears. You guys, thank you so much. Your retailers are locking this in. I have to mention this. This is my life. Youngblood is my life. I am going to mention it. It is the reason I went to New York Comic Con. It's the reason it is part of our discussion today. So I get there. Tuesday, I'm done. I get the cover out. That you haven't seen this piece. It hasn't been shown. And then Joy and I go. We do the Brooklyn Bridge. We go to Dumbo. We see all these great eateries. We have some great food. We spend about 5 hours just exploring the city, riding the train, doing the Brooklyn thing. We get home. We are excited to meet with family, take out a family member, and enjoy a great restaurant at her choice. And then we call it a day, knowing that Wednesday is when things are going to engage. We are going to go. I was asked by Image Comics to speak to retailers. Retailers are a tough crowd. They told me they were. So many of them, so many of the retailers came up to me during the show after this and said, Rob, that's a rough room. You did a great job. It was many of them. I was very literally did not expect as many of them to share with me how much they appreciated what I said, how I said it. They said you were a great entertainment factor. It had been a long day, I guess. And I kind of anticipated that the last thing they wanted to hear was more of the same. My dad would say rigmarole. It sounds like a made-up name, right? But the last thing that people would want to hear was rigmarole. And that's just kind of like the old standard blah, blah, blah. So I had been toying with doing something fresh and having a fresh approach, while at the same time, Image Comics was like, Robbie, you actually have to mention the specifics of the book. We're going to have slides. We're going to be showing it. I'm like, great, let's go. Let's get it on. I'm all for it. Joy and I arrived there early. I like to get everywhere early. We were led past. There was a giant line. It was a good sign because they had done a Comics Pro, a separate retailer consortium, had their kind of day. And it was very strange. There's a retailer named Dennis Barger. He had put up kind of shaming other retailers. Jim Lee had made a speech to what appeared to be 18 people. Dennis has the video, he has the people, and he's like, shame on you retailers, you're all in line getting freebies, all this other stuff. Another outlet called The Beat basically said the same thing, that part of the timing of this was a little off, and they should have given Jim a better kind of window for his big speech, although it did get carried a lot through all the different outlets. But in person, there at the time, because so many of the other different companies were doing freebies and had their own collectibles, and you had to stand in line for them, it actually pulled people away. Well, not so for this evening event, which we're just lucky that so many of them came back for the evening event. This was thrown by Lunar. Lunar is the exclusive distributor of DC Comics and of Image Comics. And I recognized a number of the different retailers. Some brought their kids, their families. They had no idea they were getting this special Lunar edition Youngblood, so I was excited to offer this and work with Image in that regard. And so it was just exciting walking in, going, "Oh wow, there's all the retailers are coming. They're going to be there. They're going to be seated." Boom was doing a presentation. Dynamite was doing a presentation. Image Comics was doing a presentation. Because we had gotten there so soon, we plopped down. We were talking to some of the different staff people at Image Comics. Joy was with me. She comes to these when she can, and she always likes getting a glimpse, a peek behind the curtains at what's going on, the nuts and bolts of this industry that she's been a part of by being married to me for 30 and a half years, and we've been together 33 years. And when I met her, I was in comics. I had just been hired in comics. So it's been part of our relationship the entire time prior to us becoming romantic when we were just friends. So we sit down, and shortly, like within 5 minutes, Wanda McFarlane, Todd McFarlane's lovely wife, appears behind Joy, and now you got wife chat. And wife chat, they're just so happy to see each other because most of them, and this happened at the Saturday night, probably the biggest comic book dinner I've been at in forever. There was a lack of wife chat. Joy was kind of on her own and listening to all of us do some serious level comic talking, and I think it might have been, I think it might have taken its toll. But we on Wednesday night, Wanda showed up. The wives, they've known each other. Did you know that Wanda and Todd's youngest daughter, Cyan, was in our wedding? Okay. She was the flower girl. She was in our wedding. That is how tight our two families were in 1995. Wanda and Todd was in my wedding. Wanda was in attendance. Very striking. All of Joy's dad's friends in their 50s were like, wow, Wanda McFarlane, okay? I still remember it to the day that they were all very, very, very in awe of her beauty. I'm just telling you what was going on in real time. So we go way back. I told you earlier this year during the fires, the McFarlanes needed to be relocated. Joy found them this incredible space that could house all of their dogs. Was it 4? Was it 5? I lost count. But Joy came through when Wanda reached out because they had been displaced momentarily, not knowing if their house had been burned, which it was not, thank God. But so Wanda and Joy begin chatting, and then the CGC people come out and they say, hey, we'll have you sign these books right after you speak at the retail summit. I said, that's fine. I'm ready to go. They said, there's 500 books. I said, you guys know me. I can get through this in no time. I can absolutely make this happen. This is going to be simple. Walk in the park. I'm super fast. I'm a super fast signature. I'll tell you how and why they know I'm a super fast signature one later in this story. But so that we're just making sure that then they hand me these. That I'll be signing the 1 in 500 foil version of what is cover B. And man, I see foil books and specialty items all the time. I was thrilled to be part of this. Different retailers came up to me, the guys from Midtown. Midtown is one of the top accounts, if not the top account. Both Midtown and Third Eye Comics are some of the biggest supporters of Youngblood. They are, I believe, in the top 3. Both of them are in the top 3. They're among the top 3 retailers here. You know what? I don't want to say their name wrong. I want to make sure I got it right. And yes, Third Eye Comics. They are a top account. Midtown is a top account. They've taken giant positions in Youngblood, they believe. And it is so nice to have them throw their considerable weight behind it. So I met with Gall from Midtown Comics, spoke to him. All these other great retailers, a number of different retailers approached me. I had never put faces to. I don't know if you guys can go back as far as the pandemic when this started, but I was doing a drawing every day, every other day, and we would put it up for auction, and whoever won that auction, whatever thousands of dollars that picture went to, I then told them, you have to pay the store directly. No money ever touched me. It went from the purchaser to the store that was going to be the recipient on that day. And so a number of the different stores came up to me and reminded me, Rob, you helped us out in financial difficulties when the pandemic was really struggling. And you guys, I mean, many of these things I forgot. This guy goes, I got the Thor. We got the Thor. We got the Wolverine. And it was so fun. Because you guys, you know how much I love comics, and we've had so many different comic book stores, comic book retailers out here talking to you guys specifically, that it's great to meet these stores across the country and to be reminded kind of how they got through it in the pandemic. And man, I was just happy to lend a helping hand during that time. Well, then another tap on my shoulder, and it is CGC again. They said, you know what, Rob, we were thinking maybe you could go in right now. Now, Jorge Jimenez, he of the new Batman, the blind bag Batman, but he's been the Batman guy for about the last 5 years. Really super talented and everyone will tell you, super handsome. Let's call him Captain Handsome. Captain Handsome, Jorge Jimenez, was arriving for his own private. He had his own table in the den. And this is where I learned that the reason Wanda's there is Todd is in there right now signing. And so they're going to get me and Jorge and Todd all under one roof. It's very exciting. It's good for them. They had cameras ready to roll. I did not know what I was walking into. Boom, I go in, and I see the stack of 500. They have 10 rows, 5 on 5 on one table, 5 on top of 5, 5 of 50, 5 of 50, okay? So 500 of these books are ready for me to rock and roll. And they've got markers and pens for me ready, and they've got people ready to pull them. So this stack, 50 of each, 5 on top, 5 below. I just start tearing through. Now, how do I know that they have? Have recorded me before? How do I know? Because I was there in Florida 2 years ago for my first CGC private. I'd never done one before, and they said the two guys who have the fastest signatures are you and Jim Lee, but we think Jim Lee is faster than you. And I said, okay. And we were joking about how slow one Todd McFarlane is. And this is back in 2023 when in September in Florida at the CGC headquarters. Well, I said, I think I'm faster than Jim. I said at that point. I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that. They rolled camera. They had the exact seconds that Jim took to sign, like how many books could Jim sign in 1 minute as opposed to how many books could Rob sign. We clocked it twice. I beat Jim's time twice. I beat him by 2 books each time. It basically averaged that I beat Jim by a second per signature. And we're both very fast, and the signature doesn't change no matter how fast we go or how fast we are, because it is, based on our standard of doing these signatures for as long as we've been doing them. So it looked like the Rob Liefeld signature that you would get in a book that you got at New York Comic Con, or that one that you get from my live streams. So they clocked me. We did it twice. That was the definitive proof that I, in fact, had the fastest signature in the CGC kind of, I love saying it, anals. Well, we all joked about how, Todd takes his time, which makes this... which makes it go slower for everybody, okay? Imagine you want to get home, you want to get your dinner, and you're like, oh my God, that McFarlane guy has 200 more books. You're going to be there a while, okay? God bless him. So he's right over to me, but I don't want to bother him. He's doing his own CGC books. But then I hear it. And you know what? Todd, God bless him, he told me, but you used to be one of the good imitations, but lately, you're mediocre. Your Todd is mediocre. I said, fair enough. Maybe I've worn it out. Maybe it's not top draw. But this is when I went over to approach him, and I'm going to tell you why I approached him. Todd McFarlane, I heard out of the corner of my... I heard, while I'm signing... hands can't grab the copies I'm signing for these enough. I signed most of them down here. Boom, 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 boom. Down low. Okay. I hear these next books will go much faster. These ones will go faster. And I'm like, on what planet is anything Todd signing going faster? So I decided I can't let that one go. Can't let that slide. I got to walk over right now. I got to tell him. So I walked over. I said, what is this talk I'm hearing about Todd McFarlane's going to sign anything fast? You don't do anything fast. Everything is fast. Oh, Bud. And that's when I got the... let me tell you. You used to do a good Todd. Now... mediocre. And I said, hey, fair enough. But and then he goes, I don't close my eyes. I don't close my eyes when I do. Todd, I said, I'm not, okay, I've only started doing this on video the last couple of years. If you listen to the podcast, I always close my eyes. I said, Todd, when I close my eyes, I'm summoning you. I'm saying that got a guffaw from several people behind Todd I'm like, I'm summoning you. It's like, I'm allowing your spirit to touch me. Bud. So, hey, I am fully aware that time comes for everybody. Time comes for the greatest point guards, quarterbacks, pitchers, hitters, okay? It comes actors. So maybe it's come from my Todd imitation. I'm open to that. But I think I still got it. I think I can still do a good Todd. So he chuckled. Everyone else chuckled when he's I don't close my eyes. Todd, I'm not imitating you. You just see me closing my eyes to summon you. Is that it? He didn't understand. He was like, he now put it together. Okay, so you're not imitating me. I'm like, Todd, I know you don't close your eyes, but that's how I reach you. That's how I access your aura. Mediocre. At this point, we're just, we're poking each other. If you're just listening to me, I just poked at the screen a bunch of times, okay? Remember, we're doing video, Spotify, YouTube. Hope you're watching. We love doing it. I'm trying to get more used to it, you guys. This is all still new to me. I'm trying to come at this with the best, freshest energy, and I really do just can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. So then Todd wanders over suddenly as I am, and the CGC people, many of whom were there for my super fast clocked signature signing where I signed. You guys, thousands of books, first signing. Thousands of books, summer 2024. I'm expecting thousands of books coming up in the next deadline. There is a CGC private signing that I'm doing. You guys need to go online and get on CGC and book whatever you're giving me. Is it New Mutants 98, 87? Is it 86? Is it New Mutants 100? Is it X-Force 1, X-Force 2? Is it Wolverine, 154, 155, the Deadpool issues, the 150, whatever I wrote or drew? Is it Youngblood 1, the original 1992? Is it Youngblood 10? Is it Prophet 1? Is it Brigade? All this extreme stuff is coming back. Or is it one of the many new Youngblood number ones that are coming out November 5th? The Scotty Young, the Ryan Stegman, okay, the Ryan Otley. Which of these are you setting aside to send to me? See, that's happening right now, and I want to be there. Deadpool, Batman, Deadpool. All of these books will be out. We set the deadline purposely so that you could get these books and then send them in. So CGC has the private signing. This will be my third in 4 years, and I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled to be partaking in it. So fall 2023, spring 2024, and now fall 2025. So it's been three years. There's different opportunities, sketches, stuff like this, but be sure if you want to be part of it and have these brand new books, make sure you're part of this particular opportunity. They all forgot how fast, but this 500 is now gone down to, it looks to me like 100. Todd walks behind me and says, we got to time it. Have a duel. Got to have a duel. I'm like, duel, let's do it. I'm ready. I know there's no chance in hell I'm losing him. I then imitate his signature in front of him, and then he does an imitation of mine, and then we give that away to somebody. And then we did a real Todd and a Rob, and we gave that away. We were just having fun. I'm not sure who sequestered those away, but it's cool. It's fun. But Todd's like, let's time it. Let's have a duel. Have a duel. Okay, we're having a duel. Todd positions himself right next to me. I sign with my right hand. He is, and even the CTC people said, we all saw what he did. People who watched the video said, we saw what he did. Todd, he's going to get an edge on you however he can. My speed is going to come from me reaching down and signing what's in front of me. He's got one book. As it was, even with him blocking my reach to get to 2 more books, because I could have done 8. Are you like, are these guys this petty? Yes. The answer is yes. That petty, that competitive, that much fun. So they time us. It's off. Boom, boom, boom. I do 6 by the time he does his. His looks rushed. Okay. He was rushing to beat me. That's not the normal speed, but he sped it up. It was still decent. But just on that first try, we didn't do it. Was 6-1. I did not see that we were being filmed. I did not expect that to go up online. Before I was taking the stage to address the retailers, it had gone up. It was online, and by that time we took a picture. I didn't realize that Jorge Jimenez was also videoing me, which was fun, because at one point Jorge says, "Turn and speak to me," and I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, I did whatever he told me to do. He told me to say something. I said it. Then the three of us took a picture. It was fun because Jorge is, while he is not a rookie, he's not veteran status like Todd and I, plus 40 years. So it's fun. He's one of those bright, shining stars in the comic book marketplace, and has definitely put his mark out there. He's one of those guys who did go out of his way to individualize his style. Although I think there's a bunch of people who are trying to draw like him now, which is interesting. Because you know how I feel about trying to be distinct and leave your own mark and your own tweaks. And even though Todd and I were both chasing at the time an Art Adams style in the late 80s, early 90s, they both came out through very different personal lenses because we wanted to put our own distinctive look, touch, mark on what we were doing. So we got those pictures together. I'm done. These foil shafts are now down. I can now take the stage, talk about Youngblood, talk to the retailers, and then be gone, be done. We can go into the night. We can go have ice cream. We can go have sundaes. We went to the Hershey store. It was the greatest sugar coma I ever had. It was a good thing that we had to walk home about 13 blocks from Times Square because I needed it. If I had jumped in a car and gone to the hotel, I think I needed to work the willies out. It was one of those things. We were just going to get Sunday, and then I added the milkshake. I'm getting ahead of myself here. All of this was running through my brain before I took the stage. So the retailers are there. Boom goes first. Dynamite shows my Thundar cover. I think it was being shown for the first time. I'm excited. I love Thundar. I'm going to do more with it. That's my first one. I wanted to do something that had power and glory, and it was fun. And so really excited that Thundar, my favorite cartoon, is finally getting a comic series from Dynamite. Absolutely excited. Thrilled beyond measure. Thrilled that I'm a part of it. Thrilled that I have a cover. So it comes time. They bring me up. They tell me I have 10 minutes to fill. Well, I didn't want to get up there and ask retailers to buy Youngblood. It's just, they know who I am. If they don't know what Youngblood is, they will soon. Because I realize that a lot of retailers, if you were 1 year old, don't you love how lame that sounds? 1 year old, you'd be 33 and a half today. But many people weren't even 10 years old that have stores now or are working stores. So Youngblood's new. It's went over new fans, breakthrough. So I went up there, and I thought I would talk about the special things that I can bring to the book that nobody else can. And if you have followed me for any given time, and you have followed comments and some of the biggest points that people want to make about my work, it is always, without fail, about feet, right? So totally out of nowhere, that morning before we went up, I knew that I had Deadpool Team Up 5 with me. It's one of the popular covers that we ended the series with, and I reached in my box in my hotel room, I grabbed it, and I decided to do my feet count, 31 feet. 31 feet in Deadpool Team Up. Then I contrasted that and counted out 70 feet in Youngblood number 1. Even with the extra pages in Youngblood number 1, it's like a 2-to-1 ratio, okay? More feet. Well, I tried to equate that with more effort, and there's an old joke Eric Larson used to say, it got us in some hot water in the first few months of Image, like that we had been holding back at Marvel, and now we're going to give it our all. And somebody like, rest in peace, Peter David, made article after article like, they were ripping you off at Marvel. They weren't giving you your best. That's not what he meant. And Peter knew it, but it was a soundbite that he wanted to run with. He wanted to exploit. So I figured I would lean into it and say, when people go to Image, they give their best. They 30 feet, Deadpool Team Up, 70 feet, Youngblood. It was lame. It was fun. We went out of our way to show the pictures, the action, the characters, some of the key pages. We also showed the manga editions, which Youngblood is coming out. But it was just great to address retailers in a very nonchalant, fun, playful fashion. And I got a couple laughs, which that's all you want. You want a guy that's on stage who's not taking himself too seriously. And believe you me, people, I am not and cannot take myself too seriously. I'm just here to have fun. What's the saying? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Okay. except with Youngblood, I got 5 years to make the most of Youngblood. As I've said, I don't believe I'll be doing comics in 5 years, but right now I have a burning desire. And one guy did say to me, one retailer, as I was leaving, because they got their book, they got their Lunar Special Edition variant, and I did tell them this is a precursor to what's happening. Issue 6 comes out April, the 34th anniversary, and that is when the book will turn to legacy numbering, and we will have Youngblood 100. So we're going to have a really fun time with this book, and that cover is the look and the feel, and why are these diehards at Shaft's feet in the sewer? What's going on? Is there now an underground? What's happened to Youngblood? You're going to find out with Youngblood 100, okay? So it was great to get up there, give them a glimpse of what's coming, talk about Youngblood manga, talk about Youngblood, talk about my history with Youngblood. I can tell you here online what I told them. I have the great pleasure of being there at the dawn of Youngblood when it all started. I am the very first Image comic book. We launched Image Comics with Youngblood. Then you started getting all the other comics that fell into place, and it is a thrill to have this association. Youngblood was created to empower creators, and I have never felt more empowered than sitting Saturday night at the biggest creator dinner I've been to in years, maybe the biggest ever, alongside Dennis Camp with a Z. Come on, don't shortchange that Z. Eric Stevenson, Robert Kirkman, James Tynan, Brian K. Vaughn. I'm going to leave out a whole bunch of people here. Kyle Higgins, and a whole bunch of people I'm blanking on. But super talented writers, artists. That was more in my end of the corner. James Tynan was down at the end. I waved by to him at the end. I had a really fun conversation with Brian K. Vaughn that I'll get into later. But boy, did we have a rip-roaring time talking about comics, the comic book marketplace, the show, the news of the show. So we'll get to that probably in part 2, the big giant creator dinner. But Image Comics was created for that. It was created to empower, give you your own worlds, give you your own possibilities, your own treasure chest of characters. I walked into Image Comics without Brigade and Bloodstrike and Prophet and Glory and Supreme and Youngblood and Team Youngblood and Evangeline. And I walked out with all of them in a treasure trove that I would control, that I would direct, that I would participate in for the rest of my life, as I have. Todd, I'm just going to jump the gun. He announced an Image Comics founders line of toys, which I was thrilled to agree to later this summer. We had that locked and ready to go before San Diego, but I understood always that it would be announced at New York Comic Con. But myself, Jim Lee has come back bringing Spartan Wildcats. We've got obviously Mark Silvestri with I think it's Witchblade. You've got Shadowhawk, you've got Savage Dragon, you've got Spawn, you've got Prophet from Youngblood number 2. It's going to be such a blast. That's what is possible. Loose Collector has Shaft and Die Hard coming out to be alongside Bloodstrike and Bloodwolf, who came out last year and sold out. There are no more of those. So we are just excited as creators to create these worlds that we can control, that we can, depict and direct their directions, what platforms. Like I said, it is a great burden. Each and every person who is making a creator-owned comic book realize all the work that is going into it beyond the writing, beyond the art. Whoever shoulders the burden between the artist and the writer, if it's a shared concept or if it's the writer-artist, obviously they're taking all the burden of, as I said, working with the printer, determining how many issues, the print run, the overage, secret variants, special covers, thank you covers, and then having to print, having to approve each and every variant, special edition. It is a big responsibility. And did I mention you have to go out there and you promote it? Let everyone know that you're out there, that your book exists, and to try and drive interest and attention to that book. It is part of the gig that when you walk away, you understand that you're taking so much more of that burden on. There's some insights that I got from some of the really exciting creators that they shared with me at that Saturday night that I will be sharing with you in part 2 of this incredible New York Comic Con recap. I'm having such a good time. Wednesday closed out. We all left. We were all kind of, because Todd and Wanda are big baseball people, and she's all in it for the Blue Jays. I think Todd is rooting for the Dodgers. The Dodgers were up against it. and lost game 3, won game 4, and advanced then to the NLCS, which is probably gonna kick off maybe this evening after I'm done, or maybe tomorrow. I didn't check the exact schedule, but we had a little baseball talk with Todd and Wanda. Everybody broke, went their own way, went into the evening. As I said, that led me to more pizza, and ultimately, because my wife knows my incredible sugar tooth, and this is what I'm talking to when I talk to you at the end of each and every show, about kind of taking that fun off-ramp, that distraction. I knew going into that Hershey store that I was done, especially when they handed me a Hershey bar when I walked in. If you've been to the Times Square Hershey store, that's what they do. They hand you a candy bar. And then you go in and there's cupcakes. I bought 2. I ate them throughout the weekend. I partook. The best buttercream, Oreo buttercream, whatever that was, with cookies and crumbles, and oh my gosh. And that's all I was going to get. And then Joy said, hey, what about the ice cream bar over here that I had missed, that out of my peripheral vision, because I was so focused on the cupcakes, I had missed it. Joy and I went up. We were going to eat the sundae. We were going to split the sundae. We're old people. We're in our 50s. That's what we do. And then Joy goes, you want that shake. You want that Oreo Hershey shake. And I went, and I'll have one Oreo Hershey shake. And I know you don't. You're like, why are you telling us this? Because it is part of the bliss, and it is part of the pleasure and the joy that I wish upon you at the end of each and every show. I did it. We waited eagerly after they gave us our number. They called our name. She got the sundae. I got the shake. I thought, I'm just going to drink half of this. Bullshit. I drank the whole thing. I slurped. Okay, sorry for you who just heard me slurping. That is what it sounded like on Wednesday night at the back bar at the Hershey store in New York. I don't know that I've ever experienced pleasure on a level as I did. And I even said, babe, I love you, but this may have taken like the new. And she goes, I know how you love your sugar and your chocolate and your whipped cream and your stuff. Because I'm reliving it with you. I'm reliving it with you because it excited me so much. Like I said, we walked 12 blocks home, maybe burned some of that sugar rush off. Certainly not the calories. Who cares? Crashed, getting ready Thursday. Boom, it's go time. The show. New York Comic Con. We've done the retailers, 300 retailers. We've given them our lunar editions. We've pumped up Youngblood. We've talked comics. Now it's time to go. I have always been extremely fortunate to be at the Hot Flips booth. Jeff at Hot Flips and his incredible crew, they have an outstanding piece of real estate right at the beginning of Artist Alley. And we are always there and omnipresent. The first year I'd missed was last year. And this is what I want to tell you something. New York Comic Con has succeeded in becoming the biggest comic book convention. As I've said, where San Diego, it's not apples to apples here. San Diego is more of a carnival, spread out all across the city, the gas lamp, the back bay, it's a giant, the whole city participates. New York is Javits Center, is prime. It is the focus. And each year, I don't know how they packed as many people in, and it is as claustrophobic as you could possibly imagine. But it is a thrill to be a part of it. I have not done New York in 2 years. I skipped last year. I was just exhausted. And as you know, I haven't been to the East Coast in those 2 years. So this is the first time I've been back. The only shows I've done in the last 3 years have been on the West Coast. I haven't been to the East Coast other than the New York Comic Con in 2023. So I haven't been to Philly. I haven't been to Pittsburgh. I haven't been to Boston, Rhode Island, some of the traditional haunts. And it's I look at some of these other guys who have a very full dance card when it comes to conventions. Let's take 2 guys I see who have done conventions all year long. I believe you saw Jim Lee somewhere in Florida. You saw him somewhere in Texas, maybe twice. He's appeared in all manner of places because I keep seeing him pop up. Ryan Otley, I saw his convention schedule for the year, and I'm like, I could not possibly physically do what he does. And good for Ryan. He deserves to eat out, dine out, enjoy that incredible success between the Invincible cartoon and the Battle Beast launch. And but that's not me. At this old age, I'm home doing the books. I got to do the books. The books aren't going to draw themselves. I am just more challenged trying to complete the pages, make the storytelling, put the comics books out. I've told you guys, if you've been listening for a long time, I want to stay in the game. I don't want to do covers. That's cover work. But whether it's Deadpool Team Up, Deadpool Battle Blood, Snake Eyes Dead Game, Deadpool Bad Blood, Major X, X-Force Kill Shot, Last Blood, exclusively distributed here. We've done 3 issues. Not here, on my Whatnot live streams, exclusively listed through live streams, or the upcoming Youngblood, which now I'm 4 issues into. I want to be a part of the storytelling community, the sequential art of comic books storytelling, issue to issue, page to page. That's what gets me going. That's what turns me on. It's what's always turned me on. I just can't do that when I'm traveling as much as I am. So New York Comic Con is on the docket, and the upstairs with the publishers and the retailers is extremely exciting. I dropped my stuff off at Hot Flips, knowing I'll be signing there for a matter of hours. It turned out to be 4.5 hours on Thursday, and we're going to get to that in a second. I think we can approach something a bit of con etiquette, which I think is probably a topic that everyone would enjoy talking about, and there's going to be a lot of back and forth on it, which I understand. You guys have your opinion, your take. I'm going to have my opinion, my take. In regards to we'll get to etiquette. We'll get to how that goes. And I have great experiences. I don't have a single. If you think I'm going to focus in and I'm going to gripe, I'm not. Everyone in my line is spectacular, wonderful. I drop my stuff off. I want to go upstairs. I want to shop. I was looking to grab some art. There is a independent. No. What am I saying? There's a private collector who I had talked to earlier this summer. He had shown me some pages. I ultimately didn't pull the trigger on them because nowadays I just don't know what's going to come to light at any given moment. So I don't have an endless budget. I may be able to spend more than the average guy, but I still try and think of how I'm going to justify this to my family. And explain why did I? The John Byrne X-Men stuff, everyone is bought into. My entire family knows of it, my mission with it, and they're bought in on it. It's the other stuff that always have this sneak in here. I got to be upright. I got to be forthright. I got to be straight. And so some of the great pages that he had shown me, they just weren't exactly what I wanted to pull the trigger on at the time. So I gave him a nice pass. He said he was going to see me in San Diego. Lo and behold, he is the first person I bump into, as I am only upstairs at this point before I go signing on Thursday to look at the original art guys. And that's Bashara, that's Albert Moy, that's panel page art, and that's Berkey, Ramita Man. Those are the big players in the field. Anthony's is also a big player. They're all kind of in one circular block area upstairs at New York Comic Con. And I'm going to see some great art. Much of it I have seen again and again and again. And that is what ultimately was revealed to me, that not a lot of new art is hitting the market through the dealers at this point. They get stuff. A lot of them get stuff that is what they call fresh to market, but it is not sometimes mostly in my wheelhouse. Although there's a couple things that tickle me, but they don't take me the whole way. There's some fun, fresh Jim Starlin from San Diego. Maybe a few new Perez Avengers pages, some John Byrne, but it was nothing that I really hadn't seen in San Diego just a few months back. But this very generous private collector says, Rob, I've got these pages with me. I'd like to see if you'd want to see them. I said, great. I said, we need to step away from Albert's table. It'd be rude for us to look at these at Albert's table, even though we were stepping 5 feet away from his table. And the gentleman held his portfolio with both his hands underneath and allowed me to flip. Now, this is early on Thursday, so it's not getting crazy yet. So we can actually do this without, people bumping into the portfolio. But we didn't want to do it at Albert's table. And I flipped through them. Immediately, I identify a page. Oh, my gosh. And he gives me the price. I immediately commit that. Okay, that's a strong possibility that I'm leaving with this. I flip a few more pages. I see another. Whoa. Then there was another one that interested me, but it had to be for a certain price point, and I understood he's going to hold it at the price point it needs to be at. It's an X-Men page. It's very pricey, but it's not Byrne, and unless it's Byrne Austin, I generally don't go there. I went back to these other two. Page by Michael Golden, page by Art Adams. I said, I will buy these right now from you. I said, will you take my check? I said, please put it in today. Let's make this happen. He was thrilled. He threw in a double-page gift from, maybe I shouldn't say that, but he gave me a gift. It was fantastic, by another artist whom I respect tremendously. But I got a kick-ass Michael Golden page that, quite frankly, I never thought I would hold in my hands. I would look at up close and personal. I did not know I would be physically in the same space. It is one of my favorite pages from a book that had huge impact. Everyone, if you talk about it with the people who are my age, they'll start gushing some more. So now I'm buying this page, then this Art Adams page. Two of my favorite artists, Golden and Art Adams. Oh my gosh, I'm thrilled. I grabbed those, and I'm like, I've already won the show. Because as I said, I went and spent dedicated time both on Thursday, went back again Saturday for seconds to see if there was something that I was interested in. But right now, my opinion is that auctions are where people are sending their work, and it is really the most honest barometer. There was an X-Men page with Alpha Flight that was on display at Heritage Comics. I didn't think I would buy it, but it ended up being the surprise of the last auction. And when it was about to go for as low as the price as it was, I engaged, and the engagement did not last long because the other buyer, whoever I was bidding against, the unknown person on the other line, gave up pretty quickly, and so I obtained it, and it will be and has been the lowest priced, the lowest I've paid for a John Byrne Terry Austin page in the last 7 years. Happy to own it. Sometimes you just gotta, really monitor those those auction houses, because there is stuff that you are not aware is going to be made available to you, and sometimes it's going to go for a price way above what you anticipated, and others it's going to land in that sweet spot. And I'm here to tell you, a month ago, one landed in the sweet spot. These were in the sweet spots. I grabbed these pages. I could not be more thrilled. And based on what I saw from all the other guys and all the impressive art that they had, just nothing was really, I really try and look, observe, and go, well, I kick myself if I don't own this. And what you always have to do at any point when you walk away from any page is understand that you better be okay with saying goodbye. You better reconcile yourself with, bidding adieu to that page, okay? It's gone. If you walk away from it, it's going to be somebody else's. That's happened to me several times. You just got to feel good about it. You got to go, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I cannot believe this private collector was the first person I laid eyes on. He showed me the stuff, and I was fortunate to get 2 pages that wherever I purchased them, I would have been so thrilled to have them. And I cannot believe that I am so fortunate to add this Michael Golden art and this Art Adams art to my portfolio, but I'm excited, and this special gift, which blew me away. I go down to begin my signing, and you guys, is it Kismet? Is it fate? Is it divine? Chris Claremont walks by. I'm right about to start. I'm feeling the heat from the crowd, from the line. But I think they're going to understand. Everyone knows who Chris is. Everyone recognizes Chris. I said, Chris, will you sign this page for me? He says, what page? I said, I just got it. I'm going to pull it out. I can't believe I have it. Chris goes, oh my gosh, Rob, did you know this is one of my favorite pages? Oh, and asked me if I would be interested in selling it to him. With a great big smile, I said, no, I will not be selling this to you, Chris. I love you, but I'm not going to sell this to you. We talked cable, Deadpool, X-Men movies. I said, Chris, you get to lay your head on the pillow every night knowing that all Hollywood wants to do is tell your X-Men stories. How many times are we going to see Dark Phoenix in a cartoon, as a live-action movie, again and again and again, Days of Future Past? Chris, they love your stuff. They love your work. Your stories are the classics. They are the stories that ignited 2 different generations. Mine as a kid with John Byrne, Paul Smith, Dave Cockrum, and then his Mark Silvestri and Jim Lee run. So Chris is as iconic as any X-Men creator is ever going to get. He agreed to sign the page. He signed it in pencil at the top. He stared at it for what I believe was about 7 minutes straight, which is his due. It was a great memory for him. It does happen to feature all three very strong females that he singularly defined with his writing. So once Chris left, and I'm like, how did Chris Claremont just walk by as I have obtained this page upstairs, It was 10 minutes between me grabbing it, going down the escalator, setting up, and seeing Chris. So really fun, extremely happy to have Chris's John Hancock. I get the stuff signed in pencil. I sign my own art in pencil if you purchase it. So we were off to the races. Little did I know that what we started, I think at 1 o'clock, we started a little early on Thursday, would run till after 5. The line never died. It sustained itself as it did each and every day. And once, I've told this to you many times, I stand. I will stand the entire time. I will go to my knees if I have to do a specialty signature, but otherwise I can sign the regular books, even chisels, while standing. I see you standing. You're going to stand, and you're going to stand for a great deal of time. I'm going to stand for a great deal of time. I don't want you to see me relaxed in a chair, goofing off. I'll tell you later in the second part what I did that I thought was comical, but clearly, man, I got some nasty looks, and I was just trying to have fun. But we'll get to that next time. We started the signing. First guy in line. There's a reason he's first guy in line. He had 17 books for me to sign. He had among them 6 New Mutants 87s. I'm going to tell you right now, New Mutants 87 is making a comeback for whatever reason. I signed a ton of New Mutants 87s. I don't know if it's Cable in the X-Men 97 cartoon, whatever is going on, because Lord knows they have not treated Cable right in my eyes in the comic books. I'm going to stop you right here. All week long, all 4 days, many of you, lovely, wonderful people, shared with me, man, woman, child, that you say, Rob, I don't understand why Marvel doesn't treat Cable better, Shatterstar better, Domino better, X-Force better, and I hate to say it, Deadpool better. I said, guys, that is no longer my concern. I am no longer a voice in regard to those. Even when I was there, I bit my tongue. I don't understand some of the ways that with which they depict these characters, especially because I gave them a blueprint in my 20s, my young 20s, when these were bestsellers. Remember, Cable came out of me and arrived at New Mutants in order to shake things up. The book before me was completely different. You are now learning. Many of you are reading and you're saying the book before you came on was totally different. Of course it was. It wasn't dangerous. It certainly wasn't exciting. And it had no intrigue. A really big guy tapped on his New Mutants 87. He said, Mr. Liefeld, I'm going to tell you right now, I had never bought New Mutants before in my life until this issue. And I said, oh, I'm pretty sure I know where he's going. I said, is it because of that guy right there? And he points to Cable. I had to have this. I couldn't look away. As I've told you, I negotiated. I would not sell Cable to Marvel unless it was very clear that he would become an important character and he would lock in with a certain attitude that was anti-Magneto, anti-Xavier. Xavier pacifist, Magneto aggressor. Cable said there's a middle ground. I'm going to represent it. We need to be an example, but we can't be as passive as you are and we can't be as aggressive as you are. And that really resonated with people at the time. Shatterstar became a fan favorite instantly. Deadpool instantly. Domino instantly. And when you guys share with me how frustrated you are, I wish that I could tell you that I had a voice or that I could help, but I can't. That ship has sailed. They are in their hands. I also am frustrated because it seems very obvious to me how people want to see them depicted. It seems very obvious to me how people enjoy those characters the most. And if they are not going to give that to you, I can't do anything about it. So those are gripes that you take to Marvel. I have washed my hands. I have moved on. I love the legacy that I left behind. But I knew what I was doing when I sold them to Marvel, that I would get a participation. But by no means would that be anything resembling a control. So without the control aspect, I am left always to observe. Sometimes they have been very generous and they have included me, but in this regard, in the regard of what is going on with them and what has been going on with them in the recent past and the upcoming future, I can't help you, okay? But the New Mutants 87, the Cable books, are having a moment, a resurgence. I signed so many of them, But I hope that you all realize if you come up and you wait, and I'm aware that you waited, you will never be rushed by myself or by anyone who is associated with me at that table, Dave Hong, Mr. Key Collectibles. You see him on my Whatnot shows. We will not rush you. We will not try and make your experience hurried. One of the reasons that some of the lines take so long is people have decisions to make. Which books do they want signed? And especially if we've brought exclusives, as we did this time, this Youngblood New York Comic Con exclusive was there, and this was the VIP exclusive that we had. So we had two that we had advertised for quite some time. I'm showing them on the screen right now, the VIP Youngblood and the Die Hard centric New York Comic Con. Those had been, up until the show, available for pre-order, and many of you did, and were ready to pick them up. But then when you got there, you wanted to add something else, maybe one of the two. This time we brought an all-time low in regards to other assortments, Deadpool books. Two different Deadpool books and the Deadpool team-up, blank. That's all we had. In addition to some of the Youngbloods and maybe one edition of the Last Blood. Sometimes people have to make decisions. Do they want add-ons? Do they want a blood splatter chisel, a drop shadow chisel, a chisel? Do they want a dedication? Do they want a remark, a sketch, a Deadpool balloon? It's all of these different negotiations, and we don't ever want to rush them. We don't want them to think to be, because it's already a big decision for them as to what they're going to lean in and get. Some people come up knowing I'm getting him to sign these 17 books, period. And I'm getting them all CGC graded, period. Hey, and that's the other thing. Because a friend of mine is the focus of a shame video that I saw as I was boarding the plane this morning that was going around. He is in front of Dan Mora, and he's got a short box. And someone goes, the nerve of this guy bringing a short box while we're all waiting in line. Who does he think he is? Who he is a paying customer who has waited his turn and is going to pay Dan Mora whatever Dan Mora is asking for to get Dan Mora's signatures on Dan Mora comic books. And while you can video it and focus in on the short box down by his legs that he's going to hand Dan Mora to sign, Dan Mora doesn't mind. And if Dan Mora doesn't mind, you shouldn't mind. And it's a little bit of a displaced anger. I don't know if it's the amount of books that you wish you were getting signed or could afford to sign. Whatever it is, it's not Dan Mora's fault. And it's certainly not the guy that's going to pay Dan Mora and make Dan Mora's life better. It doesn't matter if in your minds he's a flipper. He's a paying customer just like you are. And you're going to get your turn. You're going to get your up at bat. As long as Dan Mora then doesn't go to you, hey, man, I don't have time to sign these 5 books. Then that would be an issue. Wait, what do you mean you can sign his 50 comics? You can't. No, that's not happening either. This gets to the etiquette part. We, as the creators who have traveled or want to make ourselves a part of the experience for you, especially those of us who, like myself, do not travel. I have done two California shows, spit it out, Rob, in the course of 2 years, and now 1 New York show. We don't get around, as I've said. I don't do Boston, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philly. I don't even do like Florida. I haven't done North Carolina in 4 years. I haven't done Texas in many years. I'm really just here. Dan Mora doesn't even come to the United States. It's a big deal. We're not rushing you. Hopefully we are not being, I didn't have any issues with anyone that I spoke with. There were no curt words. There was no unpleasantries, nothing that wasn't kind. And so, we're going to give you as much time as you want. I am not going to rush you. I think there is a certain limit in regards to how many stories I'm going to listen to above and beyond once I have completed doing all that you want in terms of remarks and drawings and signatures. We have a chat. We have back and forth. There's photos. I just don't feel like anyone is rushed. And most of the time, people need to get somewhere else. They need to get the stuff signed by this guy to get to that girl, to get to that guy, to get to that girl. Okay. So, but everybody at my table is going to go out of their way to make you feel as comfortable as possible. So just, if the line isn't moving fast enough to you, we apologize. We are trying our very best. When people drop by, I let them know, I have a signing. It has to be a family member or someone I'm doing a ton of business with, who I'm going to give 5 minutes, and many times, if you'll watch, that 5 minutes is while that customer that you were behind, you're next, is taking 10 minutes to decide what he wants, and we want him to have that time to decide that. We do not want to rush him. In that time period, I will entertain other conversations with people who are dropping by, people who want to say hi, people who just want to give me a fist bump. And so in terms of etiquette, we are trying to treat everyone as equals. And I just want to thank each and every one of you who did wait, who did see me on Thursday, on Friday, and on Saturday. I so enjoyed catching up with you, talking to each and every one of you. I want to share with you, and this is probably where we're going to wrap up today's edition. The next edition, we're going to do Gary Vee. We are going to do we're going to do the Creators Dinner. We're going to wrap up New York Comic Con. It was incredibly engaging, exciting. It was full of thrills, and I will tell you that I will say that the biggest prevailing notion that I take away from the show, because so many people, especially back home, Rob, what's the story of the show? What's the story of the show? I'm like you. I go home, I read Facebook, I read X. People are extremely shocked at the lack of excitement Marvel can generate across their line of books right now. That's as kind as I can put it. As one Marvel creator put it to me last night, and I'm like, that's what I say on the show all the time. I believe Marvel is in an all-time low in terms of excitement and relevance in their publishing department. And it's very sad, but it is part of neglect, overwork, disinterest from all the people who have been there way too long, who should be replaced. You guys have heard me say that Kevin Feige should be retired. All of these people in publishing need to be retired. Their time has gone. They are not they've had years. When I saw the latest X-Men news following an event that is getting very tepid, is getting a very tepid response. Ask your retailer. I've had one retailer tell me that the new X-Men books are DOA, this new 18 number ones. They have no one to blame but themselves. They're freaking Marvel Comics. They should have planned better, they should have secured more, I guess talent who with greater passion, greater impact. Okay, I have been highly critical. That is my station in life, especially when I'm paying for it. If I'm disappointed, I'm going to share with you that I'm disappointed. They are moving around the deck chairs. They are not offering anything new. Maybe they're going to bring back a couple of old golden oldies from 25, 30 years ago. But remember what podcast you're listening to. Launched Image Comics, introduced Cable, Deadpool, Domino, X-Force, broke 5 million copies. That's 1.5 million more than Taylor Swift's latest copy. Okay, put that in perspective, guys. 1 million copies of Youngblood every month for the first 10 issues. Got a lot going on. Toys, statues, games. Been doing this for 41 years. I've been around the block. Multiple editor-in-chiefs at both companies, publishers. I've seen some things. I am the biggest Marvel fan. I have the most Marvel comics in my collection than anybody. And you guys know how deeply invested I am in the X-Men. But it's not just the X-Men, it's everybody. Whether it's the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Spider-Man books. Total confusion, lack of excitement. I would say that is the story of New York Comic Con. But that's the chatter from all the different pros that I talked to. We're going to drill down even deeper into some of that in the next episode. Won't name names. I will protect the innocent. Met a lot of fun people, shared a lot of fun stories. The part 2 of this, as I said, involves names that I've already mentioned. The Gary Vee, Robert Kirkman, J. Scott Campbell, Jim Rugg, just more Todd McFarlane. We're going to have a good time. But I want to end because there was a gentleman that came up to me and he said, Rob, I just wanted to say hi to you. I waited just to say hi, which I wish had cut the line. He said, Rob, he actually went online. I said, I said, is it okay if I share this? He said, yeah, I'm going to share it in your Facebook group, which he did. And I'm going to read that to you right now. It was very sweet. And he went into greater detail, but I'm not going to go into any further detail than he did in this post that he left. His name's Brian Van Wielden. He posted this last night after the show. He said, pretty great moment for me getting to meet Rob at New York Comic Con today. I got in line to say, hey, congratulate him on Youngblood and to thank him for the podcast. I shared a story with him that a few months after the podcast, Robservation, started, that my family was displaced, and he explained to me the events that led to that. It was kind of natural disaster stuff, kind of freakish. But his family was displaced. I can't imagine. I told him in real time. I said, I'm so sorry to hear this. I'm terribly sorry that this happened to you. And he said, we're all good now, but the podcast helped bring some real sanity to me during a really rough time. And he told me, Rob, there was times I'd just go alone and I'd listen to the podcast, and it would just entertain me and distract me. And I mean, we're just sitting there, and you guys, this podcast is born of love. It is my love of comics. And if that translates to you and touches you and inspires you and informs you in any way, then I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful. This is my passion, talking about comic books. He went on to say, I also told Rob, and he did, he said, you always ask, well, what do we like? I'm going to tell you what I like. And he says here, I made sure to tell him that my favorite podcast topics are the history lessons and the business side discussions. Thank you again, Rob. And then he gave a shout out to Dave Hong, Whatnot Dave, for recognizing him from his last name on his orders. And he had a great chat with him. He said, great all-around experience. And that's why I'm here talking into this mic today. And what you got today was you got some insights. You did get some comic book history. People seem to recognize that Todd and I haven't been together in any room in any recent time period. And we're going to address some of that in the next episode. Chris Claremont, buying that art. I'm sharing with you history as it's unfurling, and some of the stuff can be seen as significant. But I'm giving you the New York Comic Con, speaking to retailers, trying to connect with them in a fresh and original way. Maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. I gave it a shot. I gave it my 10 minutes. I hope I filled that space. I journeyed to talk to people, get them excited about Youngblood, share Youngblood with them, share exciting young covers, share this lunar variant with people. That was the intent of the show. My wife and I, we had the very best experience in the city, in the parks, on the bridges, at the restaurants, all the meals, all the great people. And so I am just here sharing this with you. We go a little deeper as the weekend gets deeper, as we jump into part 2, which will be coming up later this week. There is much more to share. It kills me to tell you this, like I said about Marvel Comics, but it's just true. It's just true. They have entered this zone. Retailer told me, Rob, Marvel is where DC was 2 years ago, where you talked about on your podcast, where everyone was scaling back. That is now Marvel. They are the ones that are seeing the orders shrink, diminish, and some of the people that work with them, their jobs are changing because of this failure to connect. It's really sad. I'm sure that they can figure it out, but right now they aren't. And I'm not sure what they showed up in New York thinking that they were going to, do to change the conversation, but it didn't. The conversation is everyone's still worried about Marvel. We'll get more into that in the next episode. Thank you, as always, for listening. You guys know where to find me. You know where to find me? I am all over social media. I'm going to read you a review before I do that. I did notice a review that I wanted to share with you guys. You guys left it on the Apple platform. As you know, that you're listening to me on Apple, on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Podbean, on our YouTube channel. And I'm always just thrilled to make the connection and tell more stories and share more of the passion of the comic books. Okay, this is the latest on Apple. Really, really fun. This was left just a couple days ago. DC versus Marvel. 5 stars he gives us. Thank you. His name is Anonymous. Anonymous. Okay. Rob, after finding your podcast and catching up to the beginning of this year, I finally felt Rob-obligated, love that, he says, see what I did there? To contact you after this episode. First, much like you, I've been a comic book fan since I was 10 years old, and I have about 9 years on you. It means the world to me to hear you talk about the history of comic books, the writers, the artists, and all the in-betweens. So the question I have for you today is, DC, Marvel, you're the writer and the producer of this movie. Who's your director? What's your story? Who do you grab from both sides for the heroes and villains? I got to tell you, it'd be a miniseries, and it would literally depict, because they've had big showdowns, Marvel and DC, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s now. 6 episodes, maybe 6 decades. I don't have much more to share with that, but thank you, Anonymous, for joining in. Thank you for that question. I'm going to give that question some thought and maybe even address it in a full podcast, but I want to share it with you guys here. When you guys leave your reviews, wherever they are, Spotify, let's do that right now. Let's dive into Spotify. I'm going in blind here. This could be egg on my face, but I'm going in blind here. I'm going to my Spotify. I'm pulling up the reviews, okay? We'll do some YouTube reviews next time we're here. Promise, cross my heart, okay? And we're going to go here and we're going to look at the recent episodes. And right here, it says in the new comic book algo episode, Matthew Stinson seems, again, in response to the last episode, which was called the new comic book algorithms, it seems like the short runs are also in service of producing trade paperbacks. Do 6 issues at a time, turn into a trade, sell that at bookstores, rinse and repeat. They seem more willing to do a bunch of standalone trades lately instead of volumes 1 through 3 or whatever, partially because people may buy more volume 1s than volume 2s because of the feeling that they want to read in order. So everything is a volume 1, Matthew Stinson says. Lauren weighed in and said, it's a great time to be Batman, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or DC fans in general. That is the responses by Lauren and by Matthew Stinson. You guys, you leave the reviews. I'll read them. I look forward to it. We'll do a lot more reviews in the very near future. When I'm not on this podcast, I'm on X at Robert Liefeld, RobertLiefeld, with a blue check. That's me reading your reviews, your comments, your mentions, your DMs. I love interacting with you. I love sharing with you, and nothing is going to stop that. Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe I do it too much, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep looking for your responses, your comments, your messages, your DMs. So thank you for following me. I love talking and sharing comics. I can't believe that we can connect in the way that we connect, and I think that X really has some of the best reach of all the different social media platforms. Over on Instagram, man, you guys really let me have it at the show. Not only are you now all and continuing to talk about the podcast with me when you stop by and you say hi, or while I'm signing your books, you tell me about the episodes and the topics and the stuff that you like about the podcast. Thank you. You're talking about the Instagram at Rob Liefeld, RoBLiefeld, blue check mark signifies that is real. That is the real deal. I am the real deal. The legit Rob Liefeld, who is reading and commenting to you, whether it's on X or at Rob Liefeld Instagram. You guys are talking about the content, the different approach that we've had these last 2 months. That is thanks to Scotty, who is crushing it for me behind the scenes, planning and brainstorming different ways to make what we do fresh. And so much of this material is really connecting with you guys on a new level. We're seeing it. We're excited about it. We're going to continue to give you more at Rob Liefeld, blue check on Instagram. Rob Liefeld on TikTok. That's really me. We're sharing all that content, all that information. Can't wait for you to join me on TikTok. That account went from DOA to roaring to life again, thanks to Scotty McDowell, who is crushing it for me. Really appreciate him. Facebook, we have a group. It's called Rob Liefeld, Marvel Extreme and Beyond. We would hope that you would join us. Rob Liefeld, Marvel Extreme and Beyond. I can't wait to talk to you. It's like my living room. Come on in, put your feet up. Don't put your cigarettes out on my carpet, and please don't spill your drinks. We just ask for nice behavior. We give off good vibes, no trolls, no flame wars, no conflicts. It's Up with Comics. We have great artists sharing incredible art contests that are judged regularly, maybe every other week now. Everybody is stepping up, doing great work. We're going to collect all that work in a book in 2026, especially the stuff that is with my creator-owned stuff from Extreme Studios. Rob Liefeld, Marvel, Extreme, and Beyond. Each and every episode of this show is given a dedicated post for you to parse, to discuss, to talk about, share feelings and opinions, and we welcome them. We want to see you there. Rob Liefeld, Marvel, Extreme, and Beyond is my Facebook. I am roaring on Whatnot. Get that app. Download Whatnot. Follow Rob Liefeld. You'll be notified. You'll get notifications when I go live with my shows, which are generally on Wednesdays and or Fridays and Saturdays. We do a midweek show. Wednesday is the most reliable date we do. And then we do a Friday or a Saturday show. And we have so much stuff fresh with incredible amounts of product from New York Comic Con, stuff that we weren't even able to share with you during the show, but we will have more of some of the Lunar variants, our New York Comic-Con collectibles, my brand new She limited edition cover, and some crazy brand new foils that we've never shared with you before, but we're always giving you fresh custom signatures, the blood splatter chisel, the drop shadow chisel, the chisel, different signatures, original artwork, remarks, you name it, we've shared it. Whatnot live streaming is something I'm super passionate about. You're talking back to me the entire time. Many of you say it's like an interactive episode of Robservations. I would agree. We got to do more of it. We're going to do more of it. Whatnot, Rob Liefeld, follow me there. I will see you there. You guys, thank you for all the love and support you show this show, all of the word of mouth, all of the energy that you put through. I feel it. I dig it. It inspires me. There is so much more to come. Please come back. New York Comic Con Spectacular Part 2 is going to be a blast. In the meantime, you know that I want you to be doing your absolute very best. Your spiritual, your emotional, your physical, and your mental self. It is a great burden each and every day in front of us. The chaos is crazy. They want to divide us. When I say they, I mean the algorithms. Conflict marketing is now a part of our life. There is greater engagement when they can enrage you. Know that. Know that these big companies have invested in that. Engagement is what drives them, and getting you angry is what drives engagement. Take a walk, take a breath. Life is tough. I've got kids. They're working. They're busting their asses. They're in their senior years at college. They're married. They're building lives for themselves. My wife and I, as parents, we carry those burdens with us. We know what that's like. We've got our own hopes and dreams as well. We never forget, Joy and I, to go out, grab a bite, go have a date night, go to a nice restaurant, jump over to the ice cream joint, get some ice cream, get a sundae, eat great candy. I brought my jumbo Reese's peanut butter cups. I thought maybe there's one around me. My big cups, I brought them with me to the show. I can't rely on the bodega to have what I want in New York. I can't rely on CVS. I brought my own supply, okay? And I put them in that refrigerator. And yes, I partook it every day. And was it an escape for about 90 seconds to a different sugar rush type place before I took the floor, before I got in the car to go to the show? It is. We went out of our way to make time for friends and family. Some of my son's friends who he went to college with live in New York City. I rung them up. I said, hey, can we take you to dinner? We tried to reach out and do things differently, change it up a little. Like I said, walk the Brooklyn Bridge, go down to Brooklyn, go down to the Dumbo District. Just change it up. You got to get off the grind. Don't let it beat you down. Don't let it beat you down. Don't let the pressures of life break you. Take a break. Take a break. Step away. Take time, even if it's an hour a day, even if it's an extended lunch, whatever, wherever you can find it, grab it and experience it. Read that great comic, watch that great movie, that great show that you've been waiting on, have that great meal, grab coffee with your friends. You guys, I practice what I preach. I'm rooting for you. I'm reaching out there to, boom, fist into this Blue Yeti mic, wishing you all the very best in everything that you do. Please come back and see me. I'll be right back here. I'm back. I'm out there. I'll be waiting. We will most definitely, we will inevitably talk again real soon.